known as the Beaver Moon, in November. On Tuesday, lots of sunshine and chilly, only 40 for the high. Tuesday night, clear and cold, 30 degrees. Wednesday, sunshine, cold start, but warmer Wednesday afternoon at 55. Clouds move in Wednesday night. Thursday, cloudy with periods of rain. It's cold rain with a high of only 39 on Thursday. However, it's well above the freezing point, so anything Thursday is all rain. That will be the story also on Thursday night. Fading rain on Friday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
In St. Peters, it's 37 degrees right now. Florissant checking in at 38. In downtown of the Arch, we have clear skies and 38 degrees. I'm Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports.
Okay, boys, here we go.
Welcome to the Graybar Sports Open Line.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Here we go. Now, Matt Pauley on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
All right, man, let's get going here.
Here we go. Let's go.
Well, it has been quite the day today. The Cardinals introducing Sonny Gray. You heard the press conference right here on KMOX. That was just a little bit more than an hour ago. Got started at 4:30. It went through just about 5 o'clock as we in St. Louis, we start to get to know the newest member of the Cardinals in Sonny Gray. And as you might expect, a large portion of this show today is going to be dedicated to Sonny Gray. In fact, I got the chance to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with him. You are going to hear that in just moments. So don't go anywhere. Then later on in the hour, Polo Asensio, Cardinals Spanish play-by-play broadcaster. Even more later in the hour, Bob Nightingale from USA Today will get his thoughts on the Sonny Gray signing. Next hour, Scott Warman from Valley Sports Midwest will get his thoughts on Sonny Gray in addition to the Blues. And we will talk a little Mizzou football and Chiefs football as well. Blair Kirchhoff from the Kansas City Star is going to join us at 7:35. So we have a jam-packed program. Would love to hear from you. So we'll get a couple opportunities for you to call in between 6:45 and 7:05, the last segment of this hour and first segment of next hour. That's going to be your opportunity to chime in on the Sonny Gray signing. So we'll take your phone calls, your text messages, and your tweets later on this hour, first thing next hour. But if you want to get in right now and give me your thoughts on the Sonny Gray signing or your thoughts on anything he said today. I know a lot of people were impressed with the message that he sent today in his press conference. Would encourage you to text in or tweet in. If you want to text in, 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900, or if you want to tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air. But let's get right to it. Let's hear from the man of the hour, the man of the moment, the newest pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. He came in second in the American League Cy Young Award voting last season. Just a little while ago over at Busch Stadium, I sat down and spoke with Sonny Gray, and the first thing I asked him is, how does it feel to be a Cardinal?
It's a good feeling. It's a good day, not only for me, but for my family. And we're excited. Like I said, St. Louis is a place that we've wanted to be at for a while now. So to get this opportunity and to be here and to make it official is it feels good. It's a good day. It's a good day.
In the big press conference, you talked about your desire to be a Cardinal and years of coming here and seeing the fans in the stadium and everything. Can you speak to that a little bit more about just what the impact on this place had on you before becoming a Cardinal?
Yeah. You come here as a visitor and you see it. And the first thing is you see the stadium, and the stadium is beautiful. And then you start talking to people, and you see the fans, and the fans show up, and what everyone says is, I mean, the outside perspective of St. Louis is like, oh man, the fans are great. The fans are great. It's a great baseball city. All these things. So you just hear you hear that for years and years. So yeah, then that was kind of like, you know what, it would be neat to play there. And then obviously I'm from Smyrna, Tennessee, which is not too far from here. So then you kind of start thinking of that, it'd be awesome to play for St. Louis one day. And like I said, the opportunity presented itself, I guess about 2 weeks ago. It might be an option, and it might have some validity to it. And then we pursued it, and it worked out. And kind of there towards the end, we kind of with Mo and Bo and everyone. We kind of worked to get it done because it became more clear that, you know what, like this, let's get it done with St. Louis, because that's where we want to be.
A lot of Tennessee is Cardinal country. Did you grow up as a Cardinal fan or paying attention to the Cardinals?
I grew up watching four teams, I would say. We grew up watching the Braves, the Cubs, the Reds, and the Cardinals. And there's always Cardinals hats. You see them all over, especially when I was younger. They're always around. I grew up just not a fan of one particular team, just a fan of just kind of in general, right? Just baseball, but I also didn't watch a ton of baseball. We were always outside just doing, but I never came to St. Louis or anything. No. But I'm glad we're doing it now.
You talked earlier about you like being coached. And I heard Eric Kratz on Foul Territory tell a story earlier today about how in New York, maybe the coaches weren't having you do what makes you your best self. What's that process like for you, working with coaches, making sure the coaches know you well enough that they can help you become your best self?
Yeah. I mean, if you heard me talking there and you've kind of followed me at all, that you know that I do have a strong personality. I do have a lot of fire. I do have my own thoughts. I do have a lot of my own ideas, but at the same time, it's like I love being coached, but I also have to respect and understand, where it's coming from. And I don't know what, like I haven't, growing up through the middle part of my life, and I don't know if I'm getting too deep, but this is just who I am. But my dad passed away when I was 14 years old. So I kind of went through high school, college. I kind of went through the middle part of my life with a lot of male authority figures, in my life. But I've also kind of went through it, having to make a lot of my own decisions and doing my own thing. But I enjoy being coached because I think you have someone who can put in the work. I mean, you put in the work together, right? And then you have ideas that you bounce back and forth off of each other. But you just have to show me that you put in the work and that you care, because that's what you're going to get from me. You're going to get someone who cares. It may be hard to fully let people in, but when you get in, you're in. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you did. That's a great answer. Just a couple more moments with Sonny Gray here on KMOX. Listening to you talk earlier, you talked about culture. Your passion just exudes how much you love pitching, how much you love winning, and just the art of competition. How does you being that kind of DNA being built that way, what kind of impact can that make in a clubhouse?
I think players, baseball players, especially when you're around it all day, I think guys can tell when it's faked and when it's, like that guy says the right things. He says the right things doing this or whatever. But I mean, when you're around guys as much as you're around your teammates and everything, you can't fake it. So I think first and foremost is you can't fake it. It's got to be real. It's got to be authentic. It's got to be, and by saying that, like the best way is just to naturally be yourself. And that's one thing that I've learned going through a struggle, like you said in my earlier in my career, was like when you get away from just being yourself and just being true to who you are, that's when you're not at your best. And that's when, so I think when you're around creating a culture and everything, first and foremost is you just got to be real and you just got to be yourself and just let it just openly be yourself and let your true colors show. And those when I'm doing that, that is my true colors, my true colors. So I think the more that you can be yourself and openly be yourself and just kind of let it all out there, I do think it makes it easier for then other people to do the same, which I think creates a strong bond.
Last thing for you, non-baseball, is there something about St. Louis, maybe food, attraction, something that you've been able to enjoy, you're looking forward to, maybe looking forward to sharing with your family? Is there anything non-baseball that really jumps out?
Yeah, we love the Arch.
Okay.
family, Jessica and my 2 boys, we came here this summer, and we got to the top of the arch, and we did that and everything. And we had these coins, like you can pay $1 or whatever it is, and get a coin or whatever. And we traveled around with that. I looked in my backpack this morning when I was flying up here and looked in it, and one of those coins is still in there, which is cool. And I told my 5-year-old that it's the McDonald's arch. So like half of it is in like Wyoming, the other half is somewhere in like Wyoming. So I think he still believes that. I'm like, we're gonna. So we liked that. We liked it, and we liked it. My 5-year-old liked it so much that he had a school project not too long ago, and he's like all about me. And right, it was like favorite places, favorite food, favorite this, favorite that. And when it came to favorite places, it was him. It was a picture of him in front of the arch. And that's what he wanted to put on it as his picture, and went to his class and described it. So, that's cool. That's a place. That's something that already has created a strong memory for us.
That's awesome. Sonny, can't wait to watch you pitch as a Cardinal. Thank you for taking some time with us.
Thank you.
That's the newest Cardinal, Sonny Gray, joining us here on KMOX, an exclusive conversation. That was his second interview that he did after officially becoming a Cardinal. We talk with Polo Asensio next as we roll on with the Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underline Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Nobody wants a surprise in their jelly donut. It's toothpaste? That's because the middle is the most important part. At Gray Bar, we're at the middle of electrical and datacom jobs across the country, connecting installers, facility managers, and business owners with smart solutions for their most challenging projects, which means stocking and delivering crucial products on time and on budget with no surprises, thanks to our nationwide logistics network. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
It's football season, and the NFL is in full effect on the free Odyssey app. We're heading into the final stretch of the regular season, and the playoff picture is starting to come into focus. Whatever team you're rooting for, the free Odyssey app has you covered with the local talk and your team's podcasts. Plus, listen to play-by-play of every Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night game from Westwood One. If you're looking for the NFL, it's all on the free Odyssey app. Download it today and search for your favorite team. That's AUDACY.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley talking to you about Brew Pub, lots of matzo pizza. Back in the day, I'll admit it, I was somebody that when it came to frozen pizza, more often than not, I would just get the frozen pizza that I'd always got in my parents, like the one that you kind of grow up with and that you're used to, or maybe I'd see something on sale and I would go with that, but I didn't branch out very much. Well, I would encourage you to branch out a little bit if you have never tried a Brew Pub, lots of matzo pizza. It's got the thin crust, amazing sauce, and I keep telling you about the toppings. I am telling you the truth. They are plentiful. They are delicious. But how about the cheese? Award-winning Wisconsin mozzarella cheese. Quite honestly, it is the cheese that sets the Brew Pub lots of matzo pizza apart from every other frozen pizza. You're going to get over a half pound of this wonderful cheese on every single Brew Pub lots of matzo pizza. Get to your local grocer, get to the frozen pizza section, get yourself a Brew Pub lots of matzo pizza. You're going to love it.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW. I am so confident that my team will take care of every one of your service and sales needs. I'll give you my cell phone, 618-791-5470. Newbold Toyota or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Story Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Story Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Call today at 314-238-7360. That's 314-238-7360. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Remember the simple days of the home phone? You never misplaced that phone or lost a call because of spotty internet or bad reception. It was right there and always reliable, even in emergencies. Well, the home phone is back and better than ever with Community Phone. Community Phone offers landline home phone service starting at just $39 a month. And now get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-530-6736. There are no contracts. You don't need internet. You can make unlimited nationwide calls, and your phone works, even if you lose power. Plus, you can keep your current phone number or get a new one. With Community Phone, you'll enjoy all the modern conveniences of caller ID, voicemail, spam call blocking, and more. Today, get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-530-6736. Call 1-866-530-6736 today to get 50% off. 1-866-530-6736.
This is America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Jardín izquierdo, la pelota se va, la pelota se va, el capitán la manda a la historia cuadrangular.
The Spanish language play-by-play voice of the St. Louis Cardinals is Polo Asensio, and he joins us right now via the Quiver River Electric guest line. Always love listening to his play-by-play calls, even if I don't speak Spanish. Polo, always appreciate your time. How are you?
Hey, Matt, I'm having fun. Thank you for saying that. And, you know me, I was listening to Sonny Gray today, and he said, you guys, I'm a rambler. And then he said, what was the question again? I forgot. So I'm a rambler too. So you got Sonny before me. Now you have me. Like I tweeted out about 30 minutes ago, the producer didn't figure out, didn't know what he was doing because he put two ramblers at the beginning. And I'm pretty sure the rest of the show is going to be very, very tight on time. But let's go. Let's talk some Sonny Gray. Let's talk some Cardinals, and let's talk some baseball. And by the way, I'm actually in Tijuana, Mexico, my hometown. And in front of me, we have about 25 of the top prospects in all of Mexico, especially in the northern area, Tijuana, Sonora, Sinaloa, where players like Jonathan Aranda from the Rays, Alex Kirk from the Rays, Javier Azar, a pitcher for the Cubs. They all sign out of a showcase like this one today. So hopefully Ramon Garcia, the Cardinals scout in Mexico, can find something good. And I can tell you, I like a couple of kids, especially one of the catchers. He's really, really good. So, again, we're talking about 15, 16-year-old kids. Hopefully, if they sign one of them here today, we can get to see this kid on about 5 or 6 years.
Well, the news of the day is obviously Sonny Gray, a guy who came in second in the American League Cy Young Award voting last year. He comes in. He seems like he's going to be the top of the rotation guy. What was your reaction when you found out that Sonny Gray was going to be a Cardinal?
Well, it was about 7:30 in the morning this morning here in Tijuana, Mexico, and I was on my way to the dentist when I started getting notifications on my ex account. And I was, you know what? That's not bad. Not bad at all. If you tell me that 2 of the top 3 free agent starting pitchers for this offseason are signed already, and one of them actually, let's not count Yamamoto because, we don't know what we're going to get with Yamamoto, whoever signs them, and hopefully the Cardinals are still in it. But 2 of the top 3 are signed, and one of them is with the Cardinals. That should make everybody very happy. And if not satisfied, at least happy. Let's not even talk about Lance Lynn. Let's not even talk about Kyle Gibson. But Sonny Gray brings a lot to the table, and I really, really like what I heard from this kid. We've seen him compete against the Cardinals year after year after year. And one of the things he said today at the press conference, amongst his rambling, he said, I am ready. I have an edge. I don't take no for an answer. Let's go. And that's what you want. That's what you want from somebody who's coming into a team that lost a lot of games last season. A lot of innings were lost with the starting pitchers, and the bullpen got taxed halfway through the season. The bullpen was already tired. So I like what I see. I like the signing. And yes, do we like to see something else? Do we want to see somebody else come in? We might see somebody like Mo said. It's still early in the off season. There's a lot of time to pray, to perhaps even, what if another free agent just falls into the Cardinals' lap? A lot of things can happen, but to start the offseason, this is not a bad start. And let's not forget it's only 2 months into this offseason. So we have another 3.5 months to go. And the Cardinals, you can say they have a pretty good starting rotation already.
Let me finish you off with this. So what should the next main target be for the Cardinals in terms of position? Is it relief pitching? Is it bench help? What would you like to see the Cardinals do next?
Something that I love to see is bench. Let's not say bench, right? Let's just say more players to come and bat off the bench or give the starters a rest, or perhaps trade for somebody to start up in the outfield or infield. Yeah, we do have a lot of really good pieces in this Cardinal roster already, but can it be better? Yes, it can. So I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of bats either, again, to start or to be a reserve level bench. And even, you know what, Matt, something that we forget about, the minor leagues, right? When you look at AAA, who is down there with years in the big leagues or years in the minor leagues trying to get or make it to the big leagues? We don't have a lot of players like that. And a lot of times we need players like that. Baseball teams need players like that. And let's just go back to a few years when we had Jose Martinez, Jairo Munoz, we had Rangel Ravelo, a lot of guys that could come from the bench and spark something with one at bat, with one start every other week or whatever. So I really do feel that we need to bring something like that, bring some veterans to help from the bench and to help, when Goldie's not playing, when Arenado's not playing, when whoever's playing the outfield is not playing. Let's look for somebody to help us spark something from the bench.
He is Paulo Asensio, the Spanish language play-by-play broadcaster for the Cardinals. Paulo, thank you so much for the time. We'll get you back on real soon when we have a little bit more time.
No, absolutely. Thank you, guys. And hey, I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. In Mo, I trust. Let's be a little patient, and at the end of this off season, we're going to like what we have for our 2024.
Awesome. Thanks, Paulo. There's Paulo Asensio joining us. Up next, Bob Nightingale from USA Today Sports. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line, a jam-packed Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
I love being able to tell you about Petland, and this is a great time of the year to be talking about it because maybe you've been thinking that this year underneath the tree, proverbially, is going to be a puppy. Well, Petland can take care of you. I love the people at Petland because for lots of reasons, but they love animals and they want to share their love of animals with other people. I know I was just out of town for about a week and I couldn't wait to get home and see my dogs and just their reaction to me when I got home. It's so good. And I hope that everybody can have a dog at home. And if you're thinking about doing that, maybe getting a dog for the kids, Petland can take care of you. They've got the top selection of puppies really throughout the state, all kinds of different breeds. You want the French Bulldog. That's the favorite breed in America. They've got it. Every breeder they work with, they carefully research. They are all American Kennel Club registered breeders. Get to the website, petlandstl.com. You can see all the puppies and then stop by either of their locations, Ronald Reagan Drive in Lake St. Louis, now open at Fenton Crossing on Old Smizer Mill Road in Fenton.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath It's all about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Do you love your house and hate the thought of assisted living? Whether you're caring for a loved one in your home right now or planning to live independently in the years ahead, call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. They can completely remodel your old bathroom in just 3 days and back up their work with a 100% satisfaction guarantee on both their quality and craftsmanship. If all you need is a new walk-in tub or easy entry shower to make your life easier, they could do just that for you. Avoid the hassle and stress of remodeling. Check them out on the web at 3daykitchen.com or call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath for your free design consultation today. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. It's about time.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
How old are elves? Does Mrs. Claus have a first name? Is the fur attached to the top of Santa's boots or the bottom of Santa's pants? Some holiday mysteries may never be solved, but with holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery, finding the perfect gift doesn't have to be one of them. The spark of possibility that comes with every ticket versus the disappointment of yet another ugly holiday sweater. The better gift is clear. Give holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
This is the Graybar Sports Open Line.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
On America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
What a first hour we've had here on a Graybar Sports Open Line. We had an exclusive one-on-one conversation with new Cardinals pitcher Sonny Gray at the top of the show. Cardinals Spanish language play-by-play broadcaster Polo Asensio last segment. And now we're going to bring on the great Bob Nightingale, part of the team at USA Today, has been covering Major League Baseball for a long time. Also part of the team at Claves Online. You follow him on Twitter at @BNightingale. Bob, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you?
Yeah, doing good. Thanks, man.
What's your initial reaction to the Cardinals signing of Sonny Gray?
Yeah, that was a great move. Finished second in the AL Cy Young voting. He takes the ball and he gives you innings. He's a real workhorse is what you need. I mean, they signed 3 of those guys. We can throw in Lynn and Gibson, but certainly when the top starters available, and he gets the job done. Well liked in the clubhouse, and I thought it was a great sign.
Were you at all surprised it was just a 3-year deal, that it didn't go, and there's a 4th-year option on it, but it felt like if he really wanted to push it with some teams, maybe he could have found a team to give him 5 years.
No, I thought that part was good. I mean, you get more money per year in exchange for a shorter contract, and it gives them a lot of flexibility. Particularly with Lynn for just 1 year, Gibson 1. If everything works out, well, then you give them that 4th year. But I think every team would like to get sign their guys to shorter term contracts, and this is a good case of that. So no, I thought it was very fair for both sides.
Where do you evaluate the Cardinals' position right now in terms of starting pitching and how it can contend in the NL? Have they done enough to be a playoff team again?
Well, they're probably going to get some, relief help. I'm sure they'll still have to, try to get another starter if they could. They got some guys to trade, and Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Carlson could trade Steven Matz for that matter. But they got like 6 or 7 starters, but you really need about 8 or 9. So I'm sure they'll be out there for a Yamamoto. I think Yamamoto would probably go to a big city and place like that. There's other pitchers out there that can help. A Wade Miley would help, but I would think probably focus more on the bullpen.
It's a team, to your point, it's a team that blew a lot of saves last year. When teams spend big money on relief pitching, it can be a dicey situation. That's a relief pitcher can have a good year 1 year and not a great year the next year. How do you think the Cardinals go about adding relief pitching where it feels like that's another area that they need a lot of help in?
Yeah, a lot of times you trade for them, but you're exactly right. It's very inconsistent. I don't think you're going to play around in the market for Josh Hader. I mean, he's the best reliever out there, but it's going to cost $100 million. So I don't think the Cardinals doing that. But there's so many relievers out there where I think they'll can kind of mix and match. Maybe trade for some help and sign some free agents. I mean, there's a million relievers out there, and you get the right guys, the right combo with different arm angles. They can do wonders for you. I mean, look at Texas. I mean, they were crying about their bullpen all year long, but they came together at the right time and got it done to win a World Series.
Bob Nightingale from USA Today Sports and Claves Online continuing to join us here on a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. From an industry-wide perspective, the Aaron Nola deal, it didn't seem like the annual average value was crazy there. The $25 million or so that Gray's making, it felt like he could have maybe pushed for more money if he really wanted to try. Are we seeing, especially with the uncertainty of the regional sports networks, are we seeing baseball? Are we seeing executives across baseball maybe looking to spend a little less money until they know more about those revenue sources?
I would think so. I mean, when you say the Minnesota Twins said they're going to cut back, they didn't really make a run at keeping Gray for that matter. Their TV contract is up. The Padres lost their TV contract last summer, and they're trying to cut down their payroll by about $50 million. Diamondbacks lost theirs, and they'll make some slight improvements to the roster and in payroll. But I think as a whole, the industry is very concerned about that. I think there's still 11 teams out there that are uncertain whether they're going to have a TV contract or not.
It's so odd how on a year-to-year basis things can change, because it wasn't that long ago that we were coming up on the collective bargaining agreement, and then they got that done. And last year spending was very high, but now it's coming back. Is that just kind of the nature of the beast? Market forces are always going to move things around, or is there something more to it?
No, you're exactly right. Usually the year after the agreement, that's when the money is the most. Then it kind of dips down year after year. After that, I mean, obviously we're going to see over $200 million on Yamamoto. We're going to see in the 450, 500 range for Ohtani. So some of those guys will get their money. Blake Snell will probably get in the $200 million range. So some of those guys will still get paid just because there's so few starting pitchers on the market. But as a whole, you're right. I mean, as years go on after the labor agreement, usually the spending becomes less.
He is Bob Nightingale. You read him at USA Today. Again, he's part of the team over at Claves Online as well. Bob, always appreciate you finding some time for us. We'll talk again real soon.
All right, my pleasure. Thanks, Matt.
Very good. There's Bob Nightingale joining us here on the program. Maybe we'll not even maybe we'll see. I can almost guarantee that he will be part of our first countdown to opening day show here on KMOX and across the Cardinals radio network, which, by the way, okay, so we got a few things to knock out here. Countdown to opening day. Our first edition of it will be from the baseball winter meetings in Nashville, and that's going to be coming up on Thursday. It'll be myself and Mike Claiborne, and that will begin our run. This year, we're moving the day of the show. It's been on Wednesday in the past. We're moving it to Thursday here moving forward. So Thursdays, is that next week? It's a week from Thursday. We have our first countdown to opening day show, and we'll be rolling every Thursday night, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Again, our first one will be from Nashville at the baseball winter meetings. One other thing. Earlier today, I recorded a conversation with Kevin Wheeler all about the Sonny Gray signing. I think it's pretty good because of Kevin, not because of me. If you want to listen to it, you can go to KMOX.com and go to where the podcasts are and find the Cardinals Conversations, and you'll see that it's a Cards Cast instant reaction podcast that's available for you. Don't leave our show right now to go listen to it. You can listen to it later, like after 10 o'clock, because you don't want to miss Hancock and Kelly either. But that's out there for you. Maybe even listen to it like tomorrow or something. I don't know, but it's out there. I wanted to let you know. So, and everything that we're doing connected to Sonny Gray will be on that Cardinals Conversations podcast feed. It's available for you, including my one-on-one conversation with him and the entirety of his press conference earlier today. So that's all available. If you're not familiar with the Cardinals Conversations podcast feed, KMOX.com, the Odyssey app. It is fantastic, fantastic stuff. We'll take a break and have more in just a moment as we roll on with a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now, but are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. This is ingenious. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down, or as long as you like. It's your call. all. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
The Polar Express is back in St. Louis. Book your magical trip before they sell out. Book a weekday trip in November and receive a complimentary ticket to ride the St. Louis Wheel. The Polar Express train arrived at Union Station November 17th, and you're invited to hop in. Start a journey towards the North Pole, meet Santa Claus and his elves, and see St. Louis from 200 feet up and feel the magic of the Christmas story everybody loves. Book your trip at stlpolarexpressride.com. And all aboard the Polar Express.
I hope you've heard me talking about the Jewish Federation and the Blue Ribbon Campaign, because this is very, very important. We've all been watching what's taken place with the hostages that were taken by Hamas in Israel. And the Jewish Federation, their goal is just to get the hostages back. And they're trying to raise money. Every single penny that is donated goes to legitimate, established, on-the-ground humanitarian nonprofits who are saving lives, who are rebuilding infrastructure, and providing trauma relief. There's a lot of people out there who are trying to make a buck off this, and that's sad, and quite honestly, it's despicable. You don't have to worry about that with the Jewish Federation and the Blue Ribbon Campaign. The Blue Ribbon symbolizing support for the safe return of all the hostages taken by Hamas. It's your opportunity to unite with people of all religions, all races, all nationalities, as we tell the people of Israel they're not alone. If you'd like to donate, get more information, jfedstl.org. That's jfedstl.org. It's the Jewish Federation's Blue Ribbon Campaign.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Join KMOX at the Give Back Trivia Night, Friday, January 5th at the Moolah Shrine Center. Tables of 10 are on sale now, with a portion of the night's proceedings benefiting SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Give hope to a child this Christmas and support SSM Health Cardinal Glennon's Tree of Hope campaign, which helps the hospital offer programs not covered by insurance but necessary to a child's recovery. Get your tables, or if you would like to make a donation, go to kmox.com/events.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Planning a road trip this fall? Maximize your fuel economy by inflating tires to proper pressure and packing light. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Audi Kirkwood is under construction, and our savings are through the roof. Save big during our construction sales event. Get up to 10% off MSRP on select new in-stock Audi models, plus low financing rates. Choose from over 500 vehicles, including the A4, Q5, Q7, e-tron, and more, all with complimentary home delivery. Our sales and service departments are still open during normal business hours. Shop AudiKirkwood.com or visit us on Manchester Road in Kirkwood.
Spark St. Louis is the newest collaborative co-working office space located in the PwC Pennant Building at Ballpark Village. Spark supports local entrepreneurs and corporate professionals and features over 80 private offices, day pass options, monthly networking events, conference room, and special event amenities, while offering an innovative approach to city life where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within the neighborhood at Ballpark Village. Schedule your tour today by visiting Spark St. Louis online at spark-stl.com.
This is America's sports voice, KMOX.
We're back at it on a Gray Bar Sports Open Line here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. It's been a whirlwind last few hours. We got word about the press conference, 4:30 press conference, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I had not yet made it my way here to downtown, and we got here. We took care of it. got to the press conference, got Sonny Gray one-on-one with him. Again, if you missed that from earlier this hour, it's available KMOX.com, and just head to the Cardinals Conversation podcast feed or the Sports Open Line podcast feed. You'll be able to find it on both eventually. All right, we're opening up the phones, the text line, the tweets. If you want to share your thoughts on Sonny Gray signing with the Cardinals, this is your opportunity. Wanted to give you the chance. We'll do it here in this segment. And if we get a lot of phone calls or anything, certainly we'll continue on in the next segment, next hour. 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet at me as well, at Matt Pauley on air, to give your thoughts on what the Cardinals have done here, bringing in a guy who, a lot of people don't view him as a number one, but if he pitches the way he pitched last year, he's number one. He was number two in the voting in the American League Cy Young Award. So if he can recreate what he did last year, he's a number one pitcher for the Cardinals. That's not a guarantee. I don't know if the Cardinals are going to do more or not here moving forward. A text message from the 662 says, I'm proud that the Cardinals assigned Sonny Gray today. I've been thinking about how the Cardinals catching will work with Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn, and Kyle Gibson. I hope the Cardinals pitching and the catching staff will work out. Somebody else not as positive from the 636. As it stands now, the team is back to wild card contenders. Doesn't matter how good your starters are if the back end coughs it up. They got to do some work in the bullpen. Absolutely. They got to do some work in the bullpen. And I think that's the next thing that does have to happen. Let's grab our first phone call of the segment. Jack has given us a call. Hey, Jack, you're on Sports Open Line.
Yes, sir. My name is Jack, and I was just calling in on the acquisitions that they just obtained. I agree with what you just said. It'll help, but they really still haven't solidified a really solid starter, though. I mean, they got Lance Lynn and some other guy from Baltimore, which are just average pitchers.
Hey, Jack, I'm gonna call you out on this. You just said they have not gotten a solid starter. You don't think Sonny Gray is a solid starter?
At 8-8. I mean,
he came in second in the American League Cy Young Award voting. What do you want?
I know, but I mean, I agree there. But how about he was on Cincinnati, right? Before, but
he was in correct? Minnesota most recently.
Okay. I mean, I'm not disenchanted with it, but don't you think they need one more solid guy and some closers?
Yes, I would love to see them bring in another top two starter, and I would love to see them have more relief pitching. But at the same time, I wouldn't denigrate Sonny Gray. If he pitches for the Cardinals the way he pitched last season, he's clearly a number one starter.
No, I totally agree with that, but time will tell.
It will.
I mean, every time somebody goes somewhere else, a pitcher, they always don't work out the way you plan it. But I hope you're right.
So you didn't really like Sonny Gray because he was 8-8 last season?
No, I mean,
okay. Kyle Gibson won 15 games last year. So are you over the moon about the Kyle Gibson signing because he won 15 games?
No, he's not over the moon, but he's okay.
I mean, wins and losses don't matter. It's the other numbers. Gray had a 2.79 ERA and a 1.15 WHIP. He averaged a strikeout per inning.
No, okay, all his stats and records, I agree with you, but you got to win, though. Well, you have to produce wins in order to, get to the World Series. I mean, you could go 8-8, or you could have a great outing, and still we don't get any hitting, but I agree with what you're saying.
All right, Jack. I appreciate the phone call. Thanks for listening. That's
okay,
it.
Bye.
You bet. 314-436-7900. That's one of my things. I didn't like the idea that he called and kind of dismissed Kyle Gibson signing, but then dismissed Sonny Gray for only being 8-8, where, I mean, Gibson won 15 games. And, wins and losses, there's so much other that goes into it that it's really hard to evaluate a pitcher on wins and losses. Let's grab Don, who's giving us a call. Don, I've just got about a minute more before we got a break. You are on Sports Open Line.
I'll make a quick and short. I like the Sonny Gray signing, and the reason why he was only 8-8 in Minnesota they didn't have a great offense in Minnesota either. That was the other thing. And do you think they'll go out and get a Jordan Hicks for their bullpen? Or you see if you can answer those questions. But I like what they've done so far.
All right. Appreciate the phone call, Don, for sure. And we'll continue on with the phone calls coming up after the news as we get into the 7 o'clock hour. They're going to have to add to the bullpen. I don't know if it's going to be a Jordan Hicks. They expressed interest in possibly signing him to a deal before he got traded. Maybe they, re-engage on those conversations. John Mozeliak today made it very clear that leading into the winter meetings, now the focus starts to shift a bit into what's available out there on the trade market. I have to think that the next priority for this team is getting high leverage relievers. And getting swing and miss relievers, getting high velocity relievers, those kind of guys. Ryan Helsley can't be the only guy who's got top level velo coming out of that bullpen. I like what the Cardinals have done with Sonny Gray. I appreciate Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson. They clearly make the team better. Could they add more in starting pitching? Of course they could. And if there's an opportunity to do that, if Yamamoto kind of falls to them somehow, some way, that would be great. But I do think right now the focus is going to shift more towards relief pitching, because that's the next thing to make this team that much better and get back into not just playoff contention, but the ability to have a deep playoff run. We'll continue to take your phone calls, your text messages, and your tweets, 314-436-7900. We'll do that after the news right here on KMOX.
Join your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for a program that thrills and sings. Principal oboe Yelena Dirks revels in the songful world of Vaughan Williams's Oboe Concerto, as conductor David Dansmeyer brings a sense of risk to Beethoven's Second Symphony and joy to Jesse Montgomery's Strum. December 1st at the University of Missouri, St. Louis's Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Tickets at slso.org.
So delicious in every bite. Dad's cookies, they taste so right.
Dad's cookies go mighty fast this time of year, so stock up next time you're shopping. And for an easy and unique gift for out-of-town family and friends, give them the sweet taste of a St. Louis tradition by ordering at dadscookies.com.
The cake made just for you.
And in stores everywhere.
Dad's Cookies.
dadscookies.com.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Dell's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2023. Save 60%. Code 2023. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Says here that Graybar is a distributor.
Yeah, we support electrical and datacom projects all over the country.
So you can get me the products I need, where and when I need them?
Yeah, thanks to our national logistics network.
Any industry?
Yeah. Construction, industrial plants, schools, hospitals.
So you could say Graybar is much more than a distributor.
Yeah, you could say that. When you need a hand powering, connecting, or maintaining your operations, join the thousands of professionals who rely on Graybar to help keep them up and running. Yeah, Graybar does that.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews, and if invasive plants and trees have overtaken your pasture, roads, trails, or dams, then you need Missouri Brush Control. Their special forestry mulching equipment helps landowners reclaim their property. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. To learn more, visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The people have spoken. I want to thank you, St. Louis, for voting Onder Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
KMOX KECK HD2 St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis. This is KMOX, always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Staples.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. 2 more days is how long Israel and Hamas have agreed to extend their temporary truce. Hamas has so far released about a quarter of the 240 Israeli hostages it took on October 7th, while Israel has released over 100 of its nearly 7,000 Palestinian prisoners. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby.
We hope that more Americans will come out here in these next 2 installments, but we'll have to wait and see.
More from CBS's Holly Williams in Tel Aviv.
The temporary ceasefire has held since Friday, allowing people in Gaza to take stock of the devastation wreaked by Israeli airstrikes and fighting, and hundreds of trucks to deliver aid, including desperately needed fuel.
The suspect in the shooting of 3 men of Palestinian descent near the University of Vermont appeared in court from jail today. John Eaton has entered a not guilty plea. It's being investigated as a possible hate crime. CBS's Errol Barnett is in Burlington.
They're not going that far just yet. One of the prosecutors saying with the evidence they already have, this man faces 3 life sentences, 20-year minimums for each charge, that in Vermont, a hate crime enhancement would simply change what the sentencing might be.
Remembrances for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter are underway in Georgia, where mourners filled the Carter Center in Atlanta today. Tomorrow, President Biden will be among those attending a tribute service at Emory University. Rosalynn Carter died last week at the age of 96. This Cyber Monday, we've already spent just over $8 billion, and Adobe Analytics says we're on track to hit a record when the final tally comes in. If you order anything online, KCBS's Matt Bigler says be on the lookout for porch pirates.
Once your package arrives on your doorstep, it can be an easy target for thieves who've been known to tail delivery trucks. 1 in 3 Americans has been victimized by porch pirates, according to a nationwide survey by Lombardo Homes.
It's definitely a big issue, especially around the holiday season.
Amazon spokesperson Natalie Banky recommends that customers schedule their deliveries when they know they'll be home or have packages sent to Amazon locker locations.
Maybe it's not just theft, too. Maybe you just want that package to be a surprise for, you're living with at home. You don't want them to see.
Matt Bigler for CBS News, Richmond, California.
More than 27 million people were screened by the TSA between Thursday, November 16th and yesterday. The busiest air travel days were last Wednesday and Sunday. Jade Williams flew back to Raleigh-Durham Airport from Toronto.
Customs was pretty busy. Had to wait in big lines. But overall, it wasn't too bad.
This is CBS News.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 7:03, clear skies, 38 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Kina. Our top local story this hour. St. Louis police are investigating a fatal accident. It happened just after 5:30 this evening at Adelaide and Hall. When firefighters arrived, the car was engulfed in flames. Police have not released any other details of what led to the accident. 4 people died in car accidents in Missouri over the Thanksgiving holiday, according to the Missouri Highway Patrol. 2 of those deaths came in the St. Louis metro area. The number of overall crashes was up from last year, 431 to 414. The number of people injured is also rising, 138 versus last year's 115. DWI arrests were slightly down this year. Well, after facing delays due to training and resistance from city officials, the Detention Facility Oversight Board will finally get an inside look at the City Justice Center.
The visit is planned for Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m. In a tweet sent out earlier Monday, board chairperson Reverend Darrell Gray says, quote, "I hope that jail officials cooperate and I don't become a CJC resident." He goes on to say, "Give DFOB the access created by law." The Oversight Board has had multiple members in recent weeks complete their training. The City Justice Center has seen 10 members die in the past 2 years, and more recently saw a corrections officer taken hostage in August and a riot nearly breaking out the next day. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Well, construction of the Metrolink extension to Mid-America Airport is progressing. St. Clair County Transit District Manager Ken Sharkey says that the work to build the path the extension will follow is underway.
They'll just continue to do earthwork and drainage work, and most of the utility work is the repositioning of the utility work has been taking place. So there's quite a bit of work they can still continue on through the winter.
The construction is expected to be completed by 2026. Dave Murray has our forecast.
Our bundle up weather continues, but we're going to see another flip come Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures dropping through the 30s for evening plans. Clear and cold overnight, 22. On Tuesday, lots of sunshine. Cold from start to finish, only 40 for the high. Tuesday night, clear and cold, 30. Wednesday, sunshine, cold to start, but warmer Wednesday afternoon, 55. We've got rain and all rain Thursday and Thursday night. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Right now in St. Peter's, it's 37 degrees, 39 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, we're holding on to that 38 degrees. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports Open Line.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
On America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Back at it here on KMOX, hour 2 of a Graybar Sports Open Line. Up this hour, we are going to talk with Scott Warman in about 15 minutes. Blair Kirchhoff will join us at the bottom of the hour, and we'll hear from Hancock and Kelly in our final segment as they get set for Hancock and Kelly late night, part of At Your Service, this evening at 8 o'clock. But we're continuing our conversation right now about Sonny Gray. He was officially introduced as the newest member of the Cardinals earlier today, as you heard the press conference here on KMOX, and then my one-on-one with him at the beginning of this program. If you missed any of it, KMOX.com or the Odyssey app, get to the Cardinals Conversations podcast feed, and everything is there for you right now. What are your thoughts on everything that's going on as the Cardinals bring in Sonny Gray? We'll grab Kevin, who's given us a call. Hey, Kevin, you're on Sports Open Line.
Hey, thanks, Matt, for having me on. I just wanted to comment that I like the idea that the Cardinals have gotten where they have at this point through free agency and not having to make trades yet. Because as a valued Cardinal fan, I always put probably more value on our guys. But I like Donovan and I like Gorman and I like Tommy Edmonds, and I'm glad that we haven't had to do anything with that yet. But I wanted to hear your comment on that, and then also just a statement that Cardinal fans, including me, are so spoiled because there was a time not terribly long ago where Kansas City had a 25-year drought of being in the playoffs, right down the interstate. And, we get excited when we have a really bad year, which we did. But I think we're going to turn it around. So I'm optimistic. I want to hear your comments.
You bet, Kevin. Appreciate you giving us a call. I agree with you 100% about the free agency side of things. If you're going to go acquire a top-end pitcher, it's going to acquire you giving up something of high value, probably Nolan Gorman. You know what? Second baseman who hit 30 home runs, they don't grow on trees. So I don't want to see the Cardinals trade away Nolan Gorman. And I do think there are a lot of other pieces that you want to keep around. The guys you mentioned. Now, Brendan Donovan and Tommy Edman are very, very similar. If you traded one of those guys, here's the other side of that. I think Brendan Donovan has more value than Tommy Edman because of Donovan has a little bit more power, but you need to have a security blanket at shortstop going into next season. You've got Mason Wynn penciled in there, but if he doesn't have a good spring and it looks like he just needs a little bit more time at AAA, you got to have somebody who can play shortstop, and that's Tommy Edman. So I think it makes sense to have Brendan Donovan and Tommy Edman on this team. I don't want to see them trade Nolan Gorman. So I also am very glad that they have done what they've done so far via free agency. I do think they're going to make some trades. I do think they're going to make some trades off of the major league roster. I think I would be shocked if both Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Carlson were on the roster. If each of those, I think at least one of those guys gets traded. Maybe both of them do. But I don't think there's one of those guys is getting traded. I would be almost sure. I would be so shocked if we get to opening day and Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Carlson are both on the roster. So there's going to be some trades, and there's going to be some guys on the major league roster who get moved at some point in time. But the fact that they've done the heavy lifting in terms of starting pitching via free agency, I think is a very, very good thing. Let's grab Jamie, who's given us a call. Hey, Jamie, you're on Sports Open Line.
Oh, hello. I'm proud of the signings they've done, like Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn, and Kyle Gibson, but I wonder if they'll sign Josh Hader and make a trade for Dylan Cease. I think Dylan Cease will give the Cardinals a real strong starting rotation.
Yeah, Jamie, appreciate the phone call. I don't think they're going to sign Josh Hader. I think that's just going to be too expensive. That's going to be a huge contract. He's the top reliever on the market. You can make the argument that he's the best closer in baseball. That is going to be a ton of money. And those are really dicey contracts because relief pitchers can just kind of lose it at any moment in time. I like Josh Hader a lot. I think most people listening probably know I spent a number of years in Milwaukee doing Brewers postgame. I've seen the vast majority of games that Josh Hader has pitched in his career. I'm a Josh Hader guy. I think the world of him. I don't think the Cardinals are going to make a run at him. In terms of Dylan Cease, that kind of goes back to if they get a Dylan Cease, if they get a Tyler Glass now, if they get one of those guys who you can put at the top of the rotation, I continue to think that that's going to cost something that it's going to hurt to do that. So I'm perfect world scenario. They find a way to get it done with Yamamoto. It's probably not going to happen. It's going to be a ton of money as well. He may want to go to a bigger market. I would say it's less than a 50% chance that that gets done. But like the analogy is, you don't go train for a race and then not enter yourself into the race. The Cardinals have done all these things when it comes to putting themselves in good position in Japan. They've got people over there. They've got a working relationship with a club. Then there's also the personal connection between Yamamoto and some members of the Cardinals, like Lars Nootbaar, like Nolan Arenado. There's a connection to his agent. Like there's all these things that connect him to the Cardinals. You gotta do your due diligence, and you got to go down that path as far as you can possibly go and see what it's going to look like. Is it going to result in Yamamoto signing with the team? Probably not. He's probably en route to a bigger market, but I don't think it's an impossibility that the Cardinals end up with him. I think they are going to do their due diligence, and we'll see where they go from there. I love the Sonny Gray signing. That doesn't mean they're done, and it doesn't mean this isn't the playoff roster. I think that's one of the most important things to mention here. If they go into a year, if they enter next season, and the starting rotation is Sonny Gray, Kyle Gibson, Miles Michaelis, Lance Lynn, and Steven Matz. If that's who they enter opening day as their starting five, well, if they go contend throughout the year, if they're right there at the trade deadline, they'll add somebody just like they would have this past season. That's why I kept repeating over and over, and I know people are sick of hearing me say it. That's why I say that the pitching, the relief pitching was a bigger issue this year than the starting pitching. Because if they would have had half as many blown saves at the trade deadline that they did, then they were still in contention, and that trade deadline would have looked very different, and they would have brought in some guys. So let's give John Mozeliak a little bit of credit here. I know that's not a popular thing to say. I know everybody likes to beat up on John Mozeliak. But let's give a little credit here where credit is due. The man said that they wanted to bring in 3 starting pitchers. What have they done? They've brought in 3 starting pitchers, and they've brought in 3 legit starting pitchers. Even if you're a 4, you're still a legit guy. So we can sit here and say that Sonny Gray is your top guy, and Gibson and Lynn and Michaelis and Matz, that there's not a whole lot of difference between any of those guys. They're all kind of number 3, number 4 starters. That's more true than false for sure. But they needed starting pitching. They needed guys who can eat innings. So now you bring in 3 guys or 4. You've got Michaelis, who was at 200 plus innings. You've got Gray, who was at 180. You've got Lynn. You got Gibson. Those guys are both guys who are going to eat a lot of innings. There's 4 guys right there that should be in the neighborhood of 200 innings if they're able to stay healthy. Other dominoes start to fall after that happens. So the bullpen gets better just by default, just by the fact that they are not going to be asked to cover the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning of every game, and sometimes the 4th or 5th inning of some games. That's going to help the bullpen. The Cardinals bullpen got better over the last week simply because they're not going to be asked to throw as many innings. So the team was in a really tough spot from a pitching standpoint. They went out, they signed 2 guys who are going to give you innings, who are good professionals, who are veterans, and then they brought in the guy who was 2nd in American League Cy Young voting, and if he can repeat last season, next season, he is clearly a number 1 guy. That's the fact of the matter. Does that mean that they couldn't use another top-level starter? Sure, they could. You want to go win in the playoffs, you need top-level starting pitching. And right now, I think you'd be very comfortable with Sonny Gray starting a playoff game for you. And then you'd be sort of nervous about what kind of performance you were going to get from anybody else. So they said they needed starting pitching. They signed 3 pitchers. All 3 are legit guys, and one of them is somebody who just was finished 2nd in the American League Cy Young Award voting. It's not perfect, but it's something. Got a text message from the 314. Matt, they never add anybody good at the deadline. Really? Jordan Montgomery, Jose Quintana, 2 years ago. Like, those aren't Quintana was your number 1 starter in the playoffs. Pretty good. We all saw what Jordan Montgomery has done. So I would, they're not great at the deadline every year, but to say they never add anybody good at the deadline, I would take issue with that statement. We'll take a break, and when we return, we are going to be joined by Scott Warman. We'll get his thoughts on this signing, and we'll get his thoughts on the Blues as well. That's up in just a moment as we roll on with a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Reinhold Flooring is dedicated to delivering top-notch flooring solutions with a commitment to customer satisfaction. We ensure your needs are met with the highest level of service. We stand firmly behind our work and make things right when issues arise. Based in St. Louis, we take pride in offering a comprehensive range of services, from crafting custom area rugs to providing manufacturer-approved floor cleaning supplies and even free in-home estimates. We cater to the builder and commercial business with high-quality flooring solutions. Learn more at ReinholdFlooring.com.
This holiday season, the St. Louis Men's Clinic is here to bring you joy with a special $49 office visit, including a private consultation with one of their doctors, all in-office testing and lab work. Over a decade of expertise in treating erectile dysfunction means personalized and affordable plans. Don't wait. Call 314-282-8700. That's 282-8700, or visit stlmensclinic.com to take advantage of this $49 special. Happy holidays from the St. Louis Men's Clinic.
Hello, friends. It's Matza Matt. Have you ever purchased a product simply because it's in a box that looked nice and shiny and thought to yourself, this has got to be good? But then you crack it open and try it only to be utterly disappointed and empty, craving for what could have been. That's where a brew of lots of matzo pizza comes into play. You see, you'll find them in the frozen pizza section at your local grocery store, but not in a box, in a clear overwrap where you can see all that award-winning Wisconsin mozzarella cheese. You won't be disappointed or empty. So step out of your proverbial frozen pizza box and give a brew pub lots of matzo pizza a shot today.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The vote is in. STL Today has certified the result. On Onder Law has been voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Nobody wants a surprise in their jelly donut.
It's toothpaste?
That's because the middle is the most important part. At Graybar, we're at the middle of electrical and datacom jobs across the country, connecting installers, facility managers, and business owners with smart solutions for their most challenging projects, which means stocking and delivering crucial products on time and on budget with no surprises, thanks to our nationwide logistics network. Yep, Graybar does that.
The 27th Cardinals Care Winter Warm-Up is coming to Busch Stadium in Ballpark Village January 13th through the 15th. Admission tickets include access to presentations, exhibitor hall, family-friendly activities, the Cardinals Care store, and much more. Admission tickets also include access to the Cardinals Hall of Fame Museum and an exclusive tour of the Cardinals Clubhouse. Learn more about Winter Warm-Up at cardinals.com/WWU.
This is Jordan Walker. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
Be one of the first fans to catch the start of a brand new Cardinals season at Spring Training 2024. Cardinals Vacations makes it easy to get to warm, sunny Florida by being your one-stop shop for spring training travel. You'll receive hotel accommodations, great game tickets, an exclusive dinner at the ballpark with select Cardinals personnel, and much more. Make your plans now. Call Cardinals Vacations at 800-892-7687 or online at cardinals.com/vacations.
This is Lars Nootbaar. I'll see you next season.
Get into the spirit of the season with free holiday concerts by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America the first 3 weekends in December. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.com. That's afbandtix.com.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-377-6363. 800-377-6363. 800-377-6363.
Get ready for Thursday Night Football. The Seahawks, the Cowboys. Pre-game 6:30, kickoff 7:30. And you can hear the game here on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Captain, Scotty, beam us up fast.
Back at it on a Graybar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. Glad to have you with us on what's been a fun day, and we've had a jam-packed program. We're going to go back to the Quiver River Electric guest line. We're very happy to welcome in Bally Sports Midwest studio host. In addition to a bunch of other things, sometimes you even hear him right here on KMOX. He is our good friend, Scott Warman. Scott, always great to have you on. How are you?
I'm doing well. So let me get this straight. There's Thursday Night Football on KMOX, so Pauley only does a 20-minute show.
Yeah, that's about right.
Wow, man, you talk about stealing money. Holy cow.
Don't say that out.
Talk to Steve Moore.
I would ask Pajeski to dump that now. We don't need that going out over. It's been quite the day with the announcement on Sonny Gray, and I think a lot of people were wondering what the Cardinals' next move was going to be after Lynn and Gibson last week, and lo and behold, they got that set up, and now here they are. They signed one of the top free agent pitchers out there. It certainly seems to solidify some things in the rotation here moving forward.
Absolutely. You know, the Cardinals have been very aggressive since day one when free agency opened up. And I think a lot of people were sitting and wondering, you know, what was going to happen. And the Cardinals knew that they had to be aggressive to upgrade the pitching staff, the whole overall pitching staff, much less the rotation, in which John Mozeliak and company have addressed over this last week plus. And I think it's definitely a positive. I know there's some out there go, oh, you got some guys that are, you know, grizzled veterans, but, you know, I think this team needs some grizzled veterans. And who's to say, and I know you were at the press conference today, Maddie, who says that the Cardinals are done? If something strikes, who's to say that something can't happen again to maybe add to the pitching rotation? We don't know. Cardinals are obviously out there still trying to make some deals and add some more to the squad before spring training gets underway and camp gets underway in the middle of February. But I think when you look at the whole thing, first of all, from a Sonny Gray perspective, there was a lot of conversations, Matt, out there that rumors or speculation or, some insiders might have had some insight as far as maybe Sonny Gray was going to the Cardinals. We've heard this for, at least a couple, 2-3 weeks. So obviously was the fact that the Cardinals had their mindset on getting a guy like Sonny Gray, who's had a really terrific career, especially here of late, and once of formerly the Minnesota Twins. So you get that, but then they also go in and sign a couple of guys. One guy we're very familiar with, and a guy like Lance Lynn. There's a common denominator to this whole thing besides veterans, guys that have been there before. The other common denominator is A, innings, and B, swing and miss. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Cardinals have been looking for. I mean, you think about that. I was thinking about this today too, Matty, is the fact that the Cardinals have been looking for innings from their starting rotation for a while now. You can go back to 2022. You had to go out and get a guy like Jordan Montgomery and Jose Quintana. They were much needed because, the starting rotation at the time, they were running out of gas. And as we've said for so many years, it's kind of the domino effect. You even go 2 years before that, Maddie, and you think about the Cardinals were struggling for innings, and they went out and picked up Jay Happ and John Lester. And for those few months that they had to the end of the season, they were part of a great run at the end of the season by the Cardinals. And, they struck lightning in a bottle, so to speak, the fountain of youth, whatever you want to call it. And the Cardinals got some much needed innings. So now you're getting the innings, which I think in turn helps your bullpen. Yes, the Cardinals are going to have to add to their bullpen. They know that. But I think getting more innings from your starting rotation and guys that we've seen them bring in right now, I think is just an added bonus. It has, as I've mentioned, kind of that domino effect, if you will.
Scott, the other thing that keeps going through my head is those comments that were made at the end of the season by Oliver Marmol talking about the kind of guys that they wanted in the clubhouse. And I felt like there was an inference there that maybe the type of guys they wanted were not completely in there. And now you had 3 guys who are veterans, who are guys who are going to lead, who are guys who are going to hold others accountable. We certainly listened to the character just really come out of Sonny Gray today during that press conference. John Mozeliak today mentioned the fact that, last year they had Adam Wainwright walking around the clubhouse, but he was only one guy. It really feels like there's a focus on bringing in guys who can maybe help revitalize the culture of St. Louis Cardinals baseball.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Look at, 2 years ago with Albert and Yachty, along with Waino. Those are, the 3 amigos, so to speak, that kind of provided that and kind of in a little short way, maybe tutelaged a guy like an Arenado and Goldschmidt. They've been there for a while, but maybe not, in a sense of being in championship baseball type of form, which we all know those 3 guys, not only, 2 of them Hall of Famers, but, championships. Look at all the rings they've had throughout their incredible and a couple of those guys, Hall of Fame's careers. So yes, definitely. Lance Lynn has been there before. I'm sure if you talk to some of the guys in Baltimore, let's say Kyle Gibson was a huge bonus to a lot of those young kids. And that's a great young up and coming team. But Gibson had been long in the tooth and probably provided so much leadership. And so, yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly, that I think is an added bonus, an intangible, I guess, Matt, is what you can call it in the clubhouse with guys that have been there before and have been successful.
If Bill DeWitt called you tomorrow and said you're the one-day president of baseball operations, what's the next move that you're making?
Man, you put me on a spot, aren't you? I think you go probably the trade route, bolster the bullpen, still keep your options open as far as the starting rotation is concerned. If you can get a good deal and, maybe get one of these bigger names that are apparently available via the trade. And I'm sure those conversations, if they haven't been had, will be had, obviously, when you hit the winter meetings. And that's one of the things I know I was talking to you and I was telling others about is the fact that when we got to the trade deadline, Don't think that just because the trade deadline, you make these trades with Texas and Baltimore, what have you, that the Cardinals weren't trying to put together maybe something, some type of package or something for the winter. Now we're in the winter. We just had the GM meetings, was it down in Arizona a couple of weeks ago, and now we're going to Nashville for the winter meeting. So there's no doubt, I'm sure that John Mozeliak has probably put together some packages with some other teams to help bolster his team. And obviously, when you look at it and you try to sort this whole thing out, as I've learned over the years, the fact that, sure, you have this particular row, this is row A, and this is what you want the dominoes to fall and what you need for your ball club. But it doesn't necessarily happen that way. So now you have to branch out and do something else. If I'm the Cardinals, I probably go out and I try to find closer 1B. It would be one of the things that I would probably go out and try to get via trade, or if you can get a free agency. I'm curious if they're still interested in Jordan Hicks. There was a lot of speculation about that, Matt. And then, of course, I believe the Cardinals were pretty close before he was traded to Toronto on a 3-year, $30 million deal, if that's an option. And I'd be honest with you, I'd have no problem bringing Jordan Hicks back to be that co-closer, so to speak, with Ryan Helsley. Because one thing about Helsley is when he's healthy, he's great. But, can he stay healthy for a whole 162-game season? I think that's the one point right there. And a lot of teams you see, especially with success, they always have a couple of closers now. And that's kind of the way things kind of evolved as far as pitching staffs and bullpens are concerned. So I think that would be probably one of the first things if I'm the Cardinals on my list. I've said this a number of times. In fact, I said this to Chris and Amy back when they had me on right around the trade deadline. And I think if the Cardinals still want to make a big deal, they're going to have to wind up making what I would call an uncomfortable trade. And it's letting go of one of your regulars because you do have a mass there, excess, if you will, that you're going to have to make an uncomfortable trade with maybe a guy you really don't want to let go. But in order to get XYZ player, pitcher, whatever, you're going to have to make that move. And I'll be curious to see if they still wind up making an uncomfortable, as I call it, a trade coming up during the winter meetings to try to bolster this overall pitching staff and this overall team.
We're continuing to chat with Scott Warman, Bally Sports Midwest. Before we get you out of here, let's shift gears to the Blues. They've won 3 of 4, 6 of 9, 8 of 12. They're scoring a lot of goals right now. They'll give you the occasional clunker. When they lose, they tend to lose kind of in large fashion like they did against Nashville and San Jose and Los Angeles. But they're winning games like that as well. It's a really interesting team right now. They're winning a lot of games, but you don't still completely know what their identity is.
Good point. Yeah, I agree. I think that they would like to have a little bit more of identity. And I think what we saw yesterday, even though I know it's the Blackhawks who are still lowly, even with Connor Bedard, is, and I mentioned this on both the pre-game or the post-game on Friday and the pre-game again yesterday with Jamal Maris, is the fact that with especially Craig Berube, he wants more structure, especially on the defensive end. 2 games before yesterday, he given up 13 goals. In fact, Chief mentioned this in the post-game show yesterday. It's like even you win 6-5 at Arizona, you don't want that type of game. You don't want to play, as Mike Yo would call it, pond hockey. The Blues aren't up to pond hockey yet. So they have to be a little bit more structured, get their forecheck going on the offensive side of things and make sure they're clogging up the middle. And they have given the propensity, especially in that game on Friday after Thanksgiving against Nashville, they were getting some real easy goals. That was just a messy hockey game. So they got their structure back. They got a team that's really struggling. They're playing tomorrow in Minnesota. They've lost 7 straight, the Minnesota Wild have. So, try to get healthy here. I think this team does have talent. We're seeing Jake Neighbors really take his game to another level. I think we're still trying to see Jordan Kyrou get going offensively. He's got the skill, but I think as Jamal and I were talking about during the post-game show yesterday, is you're seeing Jordan Kyrou do what some of the people, not only fans, teammates, coaching staff, and management wanted Kyrou to play the 200-foot game, meaning playing not only offensive end, but defensive end. We're seeing him go out and back check. And Jamal said, look, it's all going to come together He's keeping his focus on what he needs to do this year, and he's so talented. He's going to start scoring goals, and when he does that, it's going to be pretty fun to watch. And it's fun to watch his buddy Robert Thomas, who's just right now. I mentioned this just during the game yesterday, but Jamal is back. That he keeps playing like this. He's going to the All-Star game in Toronto, Matt. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. He's not only had an incredible pass to set up that power play goal with Buchnevich, but he's scoring a ton of goals too. I mean, he's really taken his game to another level. I know we're just at the quarter pole, but I've been really impressed with Robert Thomas.
Last thing for you real quick, SLU Billikens basketball. We see you on some of the broadcast on Bally Sports Midwest. It's not great right now, and they were just barely able to beat Dartmouth this past Saturday. They go just 1-2 at the Myrtle Beach Invitational. Beyond the wins and losses and the scores, it just feels like they are not playing their best basketball here at the moment.
It was a stunner on Saturday. I got to tell you, they almost lost that game. And that kid from MICDS, Brandon Mitchell-Day, really impressed me and Scotty Highmark both. He's a heck of a player. They've got Utah State tomorrow. I know you guys will have it on KMOX. We'll have it on Valley Sports Midwest Extra. And a Utah State team that comes in with a record of 5-1. They just won the Cayman Islands tournament, and they have a brand new team. They're one of 3 teams, by the way, Maddie, that bring back 0 points from a year ago and a new head coach. And they started out 5-1. So this is going to be a really stiff test. Look, there's a lot of new faces, and you're trying, and I know Travis has told me this, Travis Ware, the head coach of the Billikens, trying to build all the different chemistry. And he had a couple of these guys that were practicing, but then they got injured, and then they're trying to get clearance to the NCAA. So there's been a whole assortment of things. This team is not as deep as some of the Billikens teams we've seen over the last couple of years. So losing a guy like Sincere Parker, who has really elevated his game this year, getting that opportunity, that's a big loss. And as I say, there's not, we've even said on the telecast, there's not a lot of margin for error when you don't have that much experience and you don't have that much depth. And so that's where the Billikens, they just need to try to keep pushing forward, trying to build the chemistry up with some of these new guys. And hopefully Sincere can come back once conference season starts and they can get into the right gear once you get going in A10 play. But yeah, it's been a struggle of late for this team. There's no question about it. And losing Sincere Parker is really a big loss to this club.
He is Scott Warman. You see him on Valley Sports Midwest. You see him all over the place, and we always appreciate him taking some time with us. Scott, thanks for the time as always.
Buddy, good to talk to you. Thanks, Maddie.
You bet. There's Scott Warman joining us via the Quiver River Electric guest line. When we return, I'm going to break down why I thought Sonny Gray really won the press conference. And you don't win games by winning a press conference, but at the same time, especially coming off the season that the Cardinals had last year, it's good to win a press conference. I think that happened today. We'll get into that coming up in just a moment as we roll on here on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
Reinhold Flooring is dedicated to delivering top-notch flooring solutions with a commitment to customer satisfaction. We ensure your needs are met with the highest level of service. We stand firmly behind our work and make things right when issues arise. Based in St. Louis, we take pride in offering a comprehensive range of services, from crafting custom area rugs to providing manufacturer-approved floor cleaning supplies and even free in-home estimates. We cater to the builder and commercial business with high-quality flooring solutions. Learn more at reinholdflooring.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. If having turkey for the holidays, buy from a local farm, get one labeled USDA organic or certified humane. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Cooking competition-level barbecue takes more than a great recipe. It takes a pitmaster with the experience and dedication to make sure anything we put in front of a judge is top-notch. My doctor at Archwell Health, she's a crucial part of my team. We meet regularly to check on my progress and make sure I'm healthy enough to compete.
Looking for primary care for adults age 60 and up? With more one-on-one time with your doctor, same-day appointments for members, and locations near you, Archwell Health has all the right ingredients. Visit archwellhealth.com today to learn more.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie Brennan. You know that for more than 25 years, I've been a patient at Ophthalmology Associates, the home of the doctors' doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer. Also, my wife, kids, and sister all go there for their eye care as well. After all, these doctors have 3 convenient locations. They have an excellent experienced staff, the latest technology, and a sizable optical department on location. They're also available for emergency calls. And now, the doctor's doctors are pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon with the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment. In Sullivan, 270 in Manchester, and St. Peter's. Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and now Berry. The best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. 314-966-5000, youridoc.com.
Experience the holidays with KMOX at Belleville's 10th annual Chris Kindle Market. Open now through December 23rd. An open-air German Christmas market on the public square that features unique European and handmade gift ideas, handcrafted items, delicious food and beverages, live entertainment, Santa, and be sure to stroll along the main street to gaze upon the award-winning gingerbread creations. Visit belleville.christmas.market.com for a complete list of vendors, scheduled activities and entertainment, and market dates and hours. This is the Graybar Sports Open Line.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
On America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
About 20 minutes left in the program. In our next segment, Hancock and Kelly will make their way into the studio, and we will get their thoughts on Sonny Gray. I also have something that I like to bring something when they're here, and I've got something to throw their way, and we'll do that coming up in just a little while. We have a lot of Sonny Gray content available for you if you've missed any of it. I had a one-on-one with him that aired right at the beginning of the show, just after 6 o'clock. That's available on the Cardinals Conversations podcast feed. I spoke with Kevin Wheeler earlier today. We did a Cardscast Instant Reaction podcast. That's there. And you heard the entire press conference right here on KMOX. But if you didn't, guess what? We've got the entire press conference podcasted as well. So that's all available on the Odyssey app or KMOX.com. Just get to the Cardinals Conversations podcast feed. And that feed's always been populated with stuff both from the radio and that we have exclusively just for that podcast feed. So make sure to be following along with that. I didn't know a lot about Sonny Gray as the guy, to be perfectly honest with you. I knew about him as a pitcher. I knew he was a really good pitcher. He had this past season for him, coming in second in the American League Cy Young Award voting. That's one of the quietest, great seasons that we have seen in quite some time. He was spectacular for the Twins. And he did 2 things. Last year, he really worked on a regimen to allow himself to stay healthy, because being healthy has been an issue for him. He stayed healthy, 30-plus starts, 180-plus innings pitched. And he's been working on his sweeper, and he's turned the sweeper into one of the best sweepers in all of baseball, that's kind of the trendy pitch nowadays, the sweeper. And you can argue that he is the best sweeper in all of baseball. clearly Cardinals fans have not been excited about this team based off what happened last year. And everybody was well aware of the fact that this team had to improve. And you can't truly improve until you start playing games and you see who you are. But you can win press conferences. And winning a press conference doesn't win you any games. I get that. But I think it's important for fans to see the kind of guys that are being brought in. And I'll tell you what, I was so impressed today. So impressed by Gray with the things he said. He clearly cares about winning. He was asked at one point, what can he do better? What are the things that he personally can improve upon? And immediately the first thing he said is, well, I can be on a team that wins the last game. He wants to win. He wants to get better. He talked about how he likes being coached. He talked about the relationship that he has. Well, he talked about being invested in other players' starts. I thought this was such an important thing. He said when Miles Michaelis is pitching, when Lance Lynn is pitching, when Kyle Gibson's pitching, no matter who the starter is, part of his job is to be invested in those starts, to be a teammate of those players. And for every, to get biblical, to go iron sharpens iron, my word's not his, but that's essentially what he was saying, that everybody needs to make everybody else better. And that's an important part of what he wants to do. I also thought he made it clear he wants to be in St. Louis. And, we've got a lot of cynical people who text in and tweet into this program. I see cynicism on social media non-stop. Got somebody texted in earlier and said, Sonny Gray should have never signed with this team. He needs to run as far as he can possibly run away from this team. What did he bring up? He brought up the fact that this team hasn't had a losing season until this past year, since 2007. That the fact that they did not play well this past year, that's not something that they expect to continue, that losing is not acceptable in St. Louis. And there is a belief in the front office that they are going to turn things around. I thought that was key he's just one person. He doesn't represent every baseball player out there. I get that. But I thought that was notable because there's a lot of people out there that say, St. Louis isn't going to be the place the players want to come anymore. They're going to see a losing product this past year. They're going to fall down a little bit. What do players see? Players see a team that had a losing season this past year, and that was an anomaly because that's not what St. Louis Cardinals baseball is. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is winning, and they've done a lot of winning for a long time. So if you're a Cardinal fan, and you probably are if you're listening to this show, I think you should be really happy with what Sonny Gray had to say today. Because I think he reconfirmed that St. Louis is a place that players want to go. The Cardinals were not the first team to reach out to him. And John Mozeliak said that they wanted, they had 3 starters to bring in. So they got Lynn done and they got Gibson done, and they spent a limited amount of money on those guys. And once they did that, they saw how much money they had left, and they knew that they could get into the sandbox where they start looking at a Sonny Gray. They did that. He was willing to wait. Other teams were calling. He was willing to wait on the Cardinals. We'll hear from Hancock and Kelly coming up in just a moment as we roll on with the Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy the natural way without drugs or injections? Hey everyone, it's Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret to losing a half a pound to a pound of fat every day, naturally, safely, and effectively, without counting points or calories, no prepackaged meals, no hormones, no drugs, no injections or surgery. Schedule a free consultation now at moweightloss.com.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and I just would like to reiterate what Dr. Glickert said, that you can lose a half a pound to a pound per day with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. And I can say that with confidence because that's what happened for me. Getting on the scale every morning, losing a half a pound to a pound was extremely motivating to stay on my plan. I lost 20 pounds in the first month. I've lost over 40 pounds altogether using St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. It really is not that hard when you follow their plan. Find out more by going to moweightloss.com. moweightloss.com.
Learn to make money 5 ways with rental real estate. Double your money with apartments and get your map to financial freedom. And that map starts with a free workshop. Sign up now at lifestylesunlimited.com. Click on the Join Free Workshop tab and attend online or in person. That's lifestylesunlimited.com. lifestylesunlimited.com. Again, that's lifestylesunlimited.com. Limited seating, unlimited potential.
You You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow. At AMCO.
AA MCO.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now, but are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. This is ingenious. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down, or as long as you like. It's your call. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $300. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Your home of the Cardinals.
Arenado swings and hits it deep to left field. That ball is out of here.
The Billikens.
Jumper. Yes! Billikens win.
The Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City.
We are America's sports voice. KMOX.
Starting to wrap up this edition of a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Hancock and Kelly in the house. They've got Hancock and Kelly late night, part of At Your Service this evening, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Fellas, it's plural. How are you guys doing?
Good, buddy. All is well, Matthew.
Want to throw this at you.
All right.
I was in Colorado Springs for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Attempted to drive back on Saturday. Hit
Kansas.
That horrible snowstorm. Yeah. 4 people died in that snowstorm. Yeah. I saw probably at least 30 cars into the ditch.
Oof.
At one point, we were just stopped on I-70 for probably 20, 25 minutes.
Oof.
Didn't move an inch. The car in front of me, guy gets out of the car. Nature was calling in front of God and man
There
on
he
the
was.
side of the road.
There he was.
He goes ahead and takes care of business.
What part of nature was called?
Number 1, not number 2.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
that's good.
Yeah, that's important.
He back to us, so we didn't have to worry about seeing something we didn't want to see.
No, right. Got the kids in the car.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
kid in the car.
Hundreds of cars just sitting there, and this guy just gets out of the car and does his thing.
Yeah.
Is there any moment in your life that you could see yourself doing that?
Yes.
Done it. Similar situation on
Okay.
a highway like that where you're locked. Now, it wasn't snowing, so I was able to make more of an effort to move away from the highway and utilize you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
But this guy, I mean, I was assuming the snow probably
Yeah, I mean,
kept
it
him
was
close to his car.
Yeah, maybe 2 steps.
Boy, that has to suck.
He was probably still on the shoulder when he was doing it. Yeah.
We had the old orange bowl in the back seat with us when I was a kid, and
Yeah, and so the Orange Bowl was and then now you would not utilize the Orange Bowl if the car was moving.
Right.
Yeah, they don't do that. But if you're
That's dangerous.
if you're stopped, you utilize the Orange Bowl, then you step out of the car and you empty the contents of the Orange Bowl right there, and it's a little bit better.
Just because people don't know what's going on.
That's right.
There's a very unnecessary step there.
Could have been oatmeal in that thing for all they knew, and so that's how we do that.
An Orange Bowl.
The orange was big.
How was your aim? I mean, because I would have been like,
buddy, you should see the size
outside.
of this. So one of those big Tupperware bowls. I mean, this thing was substantial.
Substantial.
Yeah, you could have poured a
what
couple of gallons of water into that
once. Does that get disposed of, or does it just get thrown in the dishwasher?
Yeah, you throw it in the dishwasher.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one ate salad out of it later.
Well, I mean, it was the Orange Bowl. It was in the family for years, and we all turned out okay, more or less.
Do you like the Sonny Gray signing?
I do.
How about that for a transition?
A little segue.
Yeah.
I do like the Sonny Gray signing. I think, what I tell you what's a little concerning to me, honestly, is all this talk about Steven Matz being available.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Matz was our best pitcher down the last couple of months of that year. And if you look at his numbers and what he did after he came out of the bullpen, he had the injury, went to the bullpen. He came back.
I have the numbers right here. I tweeted about this earlier today.
Well, that's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From June 1st on, he had a 2.08 ERA, went back into the rotation on July 8th. And from there, he had a 1.86 ERA in his 7 starts.
Winner. I think this guy could be a very important piece of this rotation. And everybody talking about we need a number 1, we need a number 2. Pitching is so frivolous. You don't know what you're really going to, especially true in the bullpen. But even with starters year to year, a lot of these guys, it's very rare for a starting pitcher to be consistent over the course of a decade, say. I mean, it happens, but those are the truly great pitchers. Everybody else will have an up year, a down year. Lance Lynn could have an up year this year if they fix the sink on his fastball. He's a guy that can get some people out. So, I like the signing of Sonny Gray. I think the starting staff has the potential to be top 10, 12 in Major League Baseball. But it would still be good to add one more really good arm.
I'm comfortable with them going in with this group. I think they can add in season. But if they do add another player and they move on from Steven Matz, I'm fine. As long as the idea is, you know what, they've got the $11-12 million per year that's connected to Matz, and they need that money to sign somebody else, bring somebody else in. If he ends up being the cost of bringing in a Yamamoto, a Cease, a Glasnow,
100%.
I'm completely okay with that.
In Glasnow, there's a guy I'm not sure what I'm getting there, right?
Well, he doesn't start that many games per year. When he's on, he's really on.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd much rather have a Dylan Cease, I think, than a Tyler Glasnow, but more than anything, I think the Cardinals need to address the bullpen. What do we have? 26, 28 blown saves last year?
Again, at the trade deadline, if you would have just cut the blown saves in half, they are in contention.
Oh, it's like 2.5 games out or something like that. Yeah, and so that is, that should have the alarm bells ringing.
What's coming up tonight on the program?
Well, buddy, we've got topics galore. That's all I can tell you.
Topics galore. Hancock and Kelly with topics galore.
Michael doesn't like Thanksgiving food. We're going to get into that.
Okay.
He's un-American. I've been saying it for years. We're going to have our NFL insider with us to share his thoughts on what's becoming a very interesting NFL season. And I think the ceasefire in Israel is less appealing than it seems.
Hancock and Kelly on the way next, right here on KMOX.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
STL Today is named under